Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Inside Outside podcast. My name is Ron Mr. Fire, and my co-host and featured guest here today is Ethan, also known as Whiskers. How you doing, Ethan?
I'm doing pretty good, Ron. How about yourself?
Well, I'm pretty good. You see, Ethan, I had this idea to start a podcast with you, and now our official name is the Inside Outside podcast. But would you go ahead and kind of walk me through what we were thinking? We named it that.
So when we were originally thinking about naming it that, we were talking about how to do stuff both inside and outside. So we were talking about inside for gaming. We had tabletop gaming, video games, obviously, things like that. And as far as outdoors go, we're both avid fishermen. We like hiking and camping, things like that. So the Inside Outside podcast, but who knows where it's going to lead.
So you're telling me you like video games, is that right?
I do like video games.
And you like things outdoors. What do you like to do in the outdoors?
Like I said, one of my favorite things is fishing. That's why I'm Whiskers. Is I like to go catfishing a lot.
And then, is that assuming that catfish have whiskers?
That is assuming that catfish have whiskers.
All right, so as we get started here today, I think the first kind of talking point that I really wanted to bring up to you, and something in our pilot episode that I think we're slightly knowledgeable about, I'd say, and that's Borderlands. Now, I only mention this because I'm sure anyone that's aware of Borderlands and gaming news, Borderlands 3 is coming out, I believe, in September.
Yeah, I think
right?
September 13th.
September 13th. All right, and I was looking through the other day, and I have about 17 days played on the Xbox. This is in-game time on the Xbox One, and now Ethan over here has 40 days
on just a single character.
On just a single character. No, I think that's across. That's on the. It's all across all.
Oh,
that's
really?
That's on your Xbox One. However, when you start to think about it, this is just on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I have the game, of course, on PC, on Steam. I bought the game like 3 times, and then also we both played it on 360. So between us, we probably have. I don't know how many hours that is. I could put it in my calculator. So if we have like 24 days, no, 40 days plus 17 days. We'll go about 20 more days on the 360 in my Steam game. So that's 77 and 24. So we probably have combined about 2,000 hours in Borderlands 2. Is that surprising?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, it came out when? 2012?
See, it's crazy, right?
You got to think about that.
It came out that long ago. And also, I feel like a lot of that time was spent, not a good chunk, maybe about 15, maybe 10%, maybe less, is spent just idling.
Yeah.
Or you leave your Xbox on, and it records that or not. I don't know if it records active game time when you're moving the controller or not, or like cutscenes and things like that work. I'm assuming it just records all of it.
Yeah.
Or
if you get to the home menu. I don't know if it records.
Yeah, the title screen or the home menu. That's an interesting factor to look into. But anyway, so we were talking the other day about Borderlands and how you wanted to go into it not really knowing anything about the game at all, right?
Yeah. And I've seen some of the trailers and some of the release footage and stuff like that. But other than some of the new mechanics, like I know there's sliding, there's mantling.
There's sliding.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking like Call of Duty level sliding, where you can like run and then hit the crouch button and like slide like for a few feet? Or are you talking? What are you talking like here? Because there's good ways to do this mechanic, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then there are bad ways to do this mechanic.
Like
in Mario when you can slide going down like the slope.
Right. I got to tell you this. I don't play Call of Duty. I used to, way back in the day.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the same. Not that we're above Call of Duty, just that well, everyone has a time in their life when they play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that was kind of when we were in our teenage years.
Yeah, that was exactly the thing.
Yelling at people to fuck their moms.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember
first F-bomb on the podcast.
Right? Come on, watch out.
Anyway, we're gonna get demonetized. Anyway, go on, either.
Yeah. So, but the way I saw it, they were running and then they would slide for a few feet. So I guess it would be like this Call of Duty-esque type of slide, and a mantle that really reminded me of like some Battlefield. I watched some like Battlefield Friends. I don't know if you ever watch any of that. It's another YouTube channel, and I think they're pretty funny. But they mantle and I thought those were some cool new mechanics that were coming out, as well as they were talking about how you could get you could carjack somebody, and I always thought that was something that needed to be added to Borderlands 2.
So like you have yes, because for anyone that's not familiar, bandit vehicles in general aren't a huge aspect of Borderlands, but in Borderlands 2, it being such a big open world game, a lot of the DLCs especially focus very heavily on vehicles moving out the area, like the bandit technical and the bandit runner.
Right.
And
in this, and from what I could see in this one, they're adding more of that. They're adding multiple level maps, and then in the open area of the map, you have a vehicle that you can drive around, and depending on the type of map, depends on the type of vehicle that you want to use. So, like in the Borderlands 2, there was the runner, and there was the bandit technical, and then in some of the DLCs, there was the hovercraft.
And then there's, I think, that pirate ship one.
Yeah, there was.
Was that the hover one?
Well, that was a skiff, is what they called it.
That was a skiff,
yeah.
like like a little boat.
Yeah,
that was a little fun
boat.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to see some new vehicles. Is there any type of vehicle you want to see?
So the only one that I've seen so far that's really new is a uni wheel.
A uni wheel.
Yeah.
Is this now? My first instinct here is this based off of Claptrap? No, it's not like a large rideable Claptrap.
No, that would be hilarious. No, it's just a giant wheel that you sit inside.
A giant. Okay, all right. Well, that makes more sense.
If you ever watch South Park, you know how the teacher who was kind of had the puppet.
What was his name, Mr. God, what was that?
What was his name? Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Hold on. Freak Mackie.
Mr. No, that's Mr. That's the guy.
Some clicking sounds.
Yeah, that was Mr. Mackie. That's a different guy.
South Park.
He was their teacher.
South Park puppet guy, Mr. Garrison.
Yeah, that's it, Mr. Garrison. Because then he became Mrs. Garrison.
Oh right,
yeah,
right. See, you know the South Park lore. I've seen like the popular episodes, like the World of Warcraft episode, and like the Al Gore episode. Maybe one of the two of the Canadian episodes.
Yeah, South Park. Mr. Garrison comes up with a way to beat the airlines.
Right.
But you gotta operate two of the sticks with either hand, and then you gotta operate one of the sticks with your butt. And you gotta operate the fourth stick with your mouth. So, that's how you beat the airlines.
Something tells me this is a little more obscene than it's letting on. So I think the big thing for me about Borderlands, and for a lot of people, is the four different playable characters, and how woven in they become to the story. Do you know anything about the four new playable Vault Hunters, I presume?
I know, like I said, what you've seen in just your standard trailer, like reveal trailer. So there's the Beast Hunter, or the Beastmaster. There's Amara, the new Siren character. There's Zane, looks like a sniper tech guy. And then there's your like Necromancer type person, Moser, I think is what she's called.
Now, of course, I was instantly taken, I guess, not taken by. I was more like in love with the Beastmaster. Flack?
Yeah, Flack.
FL 4K. He's like I guess we're seeing a Hyperion robot, retired robot who has these skags.
He's got three different ones.
Three different elemental skags that are like
not skags, three different animals.
Oh, the three different animals, like one's a skag, one's a stalk, maybe.
One's a skag, one's a spider ant, and then one's a new alien creature from. It's a whole new alien creature. To me, if you ever played Final Fantasy, they show up in like every Final Fantasy. They look like the Mombas or something like that.
Momba, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can't find a picture of one. They're like these little orange lion creatures.
Well, this is an audio-friendly podcast,
right?
We'll do the best to describe what he sees. So kind of reading up here on Borderlands 3. Where do you think the story is going to go? Because that's obviously like there was a pretty big ending point there with the latest DLC they released for Borderlands 3. You're showing me a picture of that.
Yeah, that's it. They're called Mombas. I think that's what they look like. The new creature.
Moombas.
Yeah.
I think it's Moombas.
MOOMBA from Final Fantasy VIII.
You want to look that up? MOOMBA.
Yeah.
F8.
Yeah. So to me that's what it looked like. I was like, hey, that's straight from Final. And I've heard that they took a lot of they're always taking inspiration from everywhere. I mean, for Final Fantasy II, there's the Lord of the Rings, which I was going to talk to you about this. One of my things that I want to do before September 13th is I want to do the Lord of the Rings Easter egg. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this. This is a pretty special one because there's no, you really don't get anything out of this for the trouble that you got to do. So after you've discovered all the maps, if you go back to the Windshear Waste, this is where you first find yourself in the beginning of the game.
Okay. Yes, that's where you start out in
Claptrap's place.
He digs you out of the train wreck, right? Because there's the opening cutscene if you watch it, and it's like you with all the other Vault Hunters, and I guess Jack shows up and Crash, and I think there's a little Easter egg there too. If you look into the snow, there's the other 3 playable Vault Hunters who have presumably died, and are in the snow there. So yeah, continue.
So if you after you go through the entire game, basically, because you got to go all the way to the Arid Nexus.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you go into the furnace, and you can see a ring inside the furnace in Claptrap's place.
I think I've heard about this. So this is
is an Easter egg.
So this is like what you doing with Frodo?
Yeah, the Frodo, Sam,
carrying the ring to Mordor.
Yeah,
right? Throw it in. Oh, and you throw it in the mountain. And
so what you do is you walk
the Iridian Blight, right?
Is that what it's called, the Iridian Blight? Yeah.
Arid Nexus is the area right before, because that's from the first game. And you get to the Iridian Blight right before you go fight the warrior. And it's that big volcano there.
Yeah. So what you have to do to get this Easter egg is you have to walk. You have to pick up the ring, and then it gets into your inventory, and then you have to walk all the way to the Iridian Blight. You can't fast travel. You can't use vehicles. You can't die.
So you have to walk, but can you do this at any level?
I think you can do this at any level. Then
so you can always get high level, go back to normal mode, and just kind of walk through.
Yeah, but then you have to there's a guy there named Greg, and that's if you look into the furnace.
Greg?
Yeah, Greg is his name.
His name is Greg. Okay, go on.
If you look into the furnace, the item will be called Greg's Ring.
Okay.
And then you walk it all the way to there. And then you got to go up this obstacle course, which can kill you if you just fall. It's like a jumping, timed obstacle course all the way up this volcano.
Right.
And then if you get all the way up there without dying, Greg will attack you. That Greg's ring goes out of your inventory. You can't use it anyways. I don't even think you can actually equip it. And then he runs over, jumps into the lava, and then 3 giant racks come down and drop red chests. And they
do you get like a certain gun from it, like some reference to the movie or the book? No, you just you get those red chests. And
that's it.
Are there any specific loot that drops?
I don't think so. It's just 3 red.
So
it's just 3 red chests. So
3 red chests.
Yeah, they
For anyone who's not aware, red chests are like the best chests in Borderlands. They usually contain like a few blues, maybe a purple or 2, and maybe sometimes a legendary.
Yeah. The video that I watched once said that the middle chest that drops always contains a purple. Which, when you think about it, I have like 80 golden keys from just, it's been a while since I've punched in codes. I'm going to go punch in some shift codes. And then have some golden keys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is what I wanted you to talk to you about the most. And that's how I'm reading this officially from PC Gamer. Borderlands 3 will have microtransactions, but only for cosmetic items. You'll be able to buy skins, heads, and auxiliary items. So they've said that this is a quote from Randy Pitchford, who's the CEO. As you can plainly see, we've made a commitment to what Borderlands is and is supposed to be. We've made a commitment to the story style and design that our fans have told us loud and clear that they cherish and want to preserve in Borderlands 3. There's no microtransaction-y, free-to-play kind of stuff. Now, they say that, and then they go in and basically say skins, heads, and auxiliary equipment will be available for purchase.
Now, what is auxiliary equipment?
See, I'm kind of confused with that as well.
Because if it's just skins and heads, I mean, technically they've already done that by making some of the Headhunters pack.
Yes, because you have the Headhunters pack. I feel that more as DLC, like cosmetic DLC.
Yeah.
However, microtransaction is something completely different. I feel like DLC, and if you're like passing off DLC or microtransactions as DLC, that's something entirely different as well.
As long as there's not like buying level caps or buying levels themselves or buying guns
or XP boosts is what I would be worried
exactly
about.
Or like Iridium or whatever the new
part of
secondary currency
maybe this isn't for you, but for me, part of the fun in earning skins in the game is grinding them out.
Yeah. And like I don't think I've got all the skins for any single character just because
there's so many of them. Some of them are so rare and hard to get.
Like the ones that drop from the Raid Varkid.
What? Yeah.
What's his name? Veracitus or Versidius?
I want to say Veramorphous, but that's not
it. That's because you're putting a V in front of Terramorphous.
Veramorphous the Invincible.
It is Veramorphous. Okay, yeah.
Yes, he's the highest level, they are the highest level Varkid in Borderlands 2, with the alternative title of Supreme Badass Varkid.
Yeah. So he drops skins, but at this point, the only way to get those skins is to go on with 4 people, grind out till you actually get one, and then sit there for 20 minutes trying to kill him.
Yes, but when you get that skin, doesn't it make you feel like a sense of pride?
It does, but at the same time...
And then you have someone who comes along and can buy that same skin for $5.
Right. At the same time, like, some of those skins just... I don't know. I never wear them. I look at them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm never going to use that.
Yes. So you're more of like a usefulness, like a utility thing rather than a cosmetic.
Right.
See, a lot of people, and this, I don't know where this started from. Maybe from my first guess was World of Warcraft, but this idea of cosmetics in games has always been there. Warcraft is a thing called transmogs, where you can go and get old gear that's not for your gear level or for your level, and transmog it to look like the gear you're currently wearing.
Right.
So you can go get this old legendary equipment that looks really cool that maybe from 20 levels ago from a different item level, but you're gonna just kind of mask it over magically with your current gear, and you can get these cool item sets and people grind.
Right. And Diablo 3's done that too.
Yes, and Blizzard I think loves doing that. But see, you don't pay for that. You go and grind those old raids or those old bosses. You find that gear, and then you transmog it. And in Borderlands 2, it's mostly guns. You go and grind those guns, but I don't think people go and grind old guns for the aesthetic reasons. Now,
speaking of grinding guns,
okay.
The other thing that I think I saw the other day on like one of these preview trailers was, and it was literally like they spawned in and turned around, right? I think I saw a grinder. Now, did you ever play any of the pre-sequel stuff?
I actually have not played much of the pre-sequel, so I can't say I've as much as I played Borderlands 1 and 2. The pre-sequel just never appealed to me. I own the game with the Hinge collection, but no, I've never really actually sat down and played it.
So one of the things that's really fun about the grinder in the pre-sequel is that you can take those guns and like let's say you have a bunch of legendaries that you can't use anymore because they're just old. You've out leveled them. You can go in and be like, hey, here's 3 legendary shotguns. Boop. Put them in there, and they would take the average of the levels. So if you put something in there that was over your level, and a couple that were one that was your level and one that was under your level, then you would get something that was close to your level.
Okay, so this is a way of making use of old guns. Now, what I was going to suggest, I like this idea, and I'm not familiar with this. I may have seen somebody use it or heard you talk about it, and I like this concept a lot because it makes use rather than just selling things.
Right.
Even then, you don't get much credits for them because they're so low level and you're earning so much from your current level guns. What if you could transmog guns in Borderlands?
See, that would be really cool.
See, wouldn't it?
Right,
though?
and that
would give you reason to go back
and get those
play
legendaries.
the game. That adds so much replayability to the
Right.
game. Yes,
and
because you like the look of that. Awesome. Of course, it would be limited to weapon types.
Right, shotguns look like shotguns. You can't have a rocket launcher that
what
looks
if
like a
you?
pistol or
Yeah,
something.
well, like what if you want your Norfleet to look like a Bada Boom?
Right.
I don't know how picky people are because weapon parts are such a big part of Borderlands, in that you want that Theodore logo on it, or you want that Torg logo on it.
See, one of the things that I think would be cool is if they incorporated a way for you to do the transmog, but instead of doing transmogs, you're picking the parts of old guns. Because there's so many people who do that in the PC universe already. Like there's tons of tutorials out there on how to make your own guns.
And to clarify, we're talking about like save editor type stuff. We typically play on the Xbox One. I play on PC sometimes, but we mostly play on the console just because we like that controller feel and we're just used to it. But I've done some save editing work on the PC, and he's right. You can customize the shit out of those guns, and just imagine if you gave the players that kind of control rather than just it being like random. I feel like there would have to be hard limits there because you wouldn't want to give them too much control because that kind of defeats the purpose of the game.
Right, trying to go out and find them.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that you can build your own gun, but just like the cars, because you can go out and you can find a car that has the example that they used in Borderlands 3. You can go out and find a car that had a magnetic mine, right? It shot magnetic landmines.
Right. And I think
if you don't have that feature for your car, you could go out, jack that car, take it back to Ellie's car spawn, destruct it, and then reconstruct it, and you now have that part in your repertoire of tricks that you can pull from.
I think I don't remember the name of it. In Borderlands 1, in the Fort Knox, General Knox's DLC, they added a vehicle that was like kind of not like a tank, but it was tank-like.
Yeah, it was a bruiser,
and it could deploy mines. I think.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So it seems like for me, microtransactions that are just quote unquote, as he said, they'll just be heads and skins. I mean, I'll take it over, XP boosts and level boosts and stuff, but I'm still not as satisfied as as long as there aren't going to be heads and skins that are exclusive to microtransactions, I'm fine. Now, if that's just like headhunter packs, that's fine. But I don't want things that are only accessible via paywall. I want to be able to buy the game and have everything complete, other than like DLC that has content.
Yeah.
And I don't know Gearbox's reputation with that, but 2K I know hasn't always been great about microtransactions. Luckily though, Borderlands by no means is a multiplayer competitive game.
No.
So
really the only reason you're doing that is to cheat yourself out of the time spent.
Yes, you're just playing the game less, and therefore it would make more sense to add more things to grind to the game to make people play it.
Yeah.
Unlike multiplayer, because people want advantages, so they play more. My specific example was, I believe, in Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1, some of the old Call of Duty games, you could get gold skins and guns, and to do that, you had to get a lot of kills with them. Like, I don't remember how many, but you just had to be good with the gun. You had to use a lot. And people that had a gold skin and a gun usually meant, hey, they use that gun a lot. They know what's up.
Right.
And especially if you had a gold skin and a really shitty gun, like one of the semi-automatic sniper rifles, or like maybe one of the really shitty LMGs, it made you look pretty cool and made you feel good about yourself. So yeah, I think that would be cool if Borderlands implemented some type of system to where if you use certain guns more than others, you kind of got rewarded for that. I know there's badass points, but like I don't know, like maybe like a tiered system to where you shoot or kill 300 enemies with a pistol and a flat-off pistol. Maybe you're better with flat-off
Kind of
pistol.
like from the first Borderlands.
Yeah.
Well, except instead of being gun type, it's brand type.
Brand type. You know, you can be as specific as you want. Because badass, I like badass points. I feel like they could be better than implemented. Because right now it's just kind of like a random crapshoot to help you better in the game.
Yeah, I wish you could turn certain ones off because
you could turn all of them off, or you can turn all of them on.
But I wish you could turn certain ones off because right now I play as like my favorite character to play with is Krieg. Gunzerker is a one-man army and he could beat the game, blindfolded. But
yeah, literally, maybe not with a hand type. Maybe probably with a hand type. But he probably doesn't need legs. He probably just needs legs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Blindfolded, no legs. He just has both of his arms and he kills.
Yeah. But I play with Psycho all the time, and there's so many different ways to play with him. But when it comes to those badass ranks, I wish I could go in there and just turn off my shield recharge delay and leave on my max health. Or turn off my accuracy or something like that.
You could cater to specific builds. And that may be getting a little too picky, a little too overpowered for people's likings. But it seemed like skill trees in Borderlands 3 usually we're used to one like ultimate ability, right?
Right.
Like the soldier class deploys their turret. That's their thing.
Yeah.
The psycho goes psycho. It seems like the Borderlands 3 skill trees have different like abilities depending on what tree you go down.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I heard that. So, I heard that Amara has like 3 different types of skills that she can use for her, or like ways of doing it. And Zane has like he's kind of like a commando sort of thing.
I think his name is the Operative, but like one of Zane's skill trees is called Undercover, and another one's called Double Agent, and the third one's called Hitman. So like if those give him, like he doesn't have an overarching ability for all 3 of them like there were in the previous games, but he has abilities for each skill tree, and then he has like enhancers for those abilities in each skill tree. So like if he can, for example, deploy a drone, and then he can make that drone stealthy and make that drone do stuff. And then for another one, he can teleport somewhere, and then he can maybe teleport 2 places, or do teleport like a handsome jack double somewhere.
Right. What's going to be really interesting is when we see them up that level cap, because they're going to eventually do that to the point where you can up your level cap. And because right now it's you can get to level 80
in Borderlands 2,
right?
Which is insane.
Yeah, and so you can almost get down. You can get down 2 complete trees to the bottom of them.
Yes.
So if you get, and in order to do that in the current, Borderlands 2 right now, if you want to go even halfway down the other one, you go all the way down one, you want to go halfway down the other one, you only need to be at like level 50, which was the original level cap.
Right.
So that would be really interesting to see what they do with that, because I know what you're talking about, where there's no main overarching skill.
Right. And I wonder how much they had planned when they started creating Borderlands 2, when they were like, okay, we're going to get to level 80. Do you think they had Commander Lilith, the Fight for Sanctuary, planned since like the release of Borderlands 2? Like, I know they had a time, they had all their DLCs on the timetable. They're like, all right, but like, do you think they planned originally to go to 80?
No, I don't. Well, here's why I say no, is because Commander Lilith's DLC, I feel, was originally supposed to come out on and it's not the exact same storyline and everything, but the Commander Lilith DLC was originally supposed to come out on the pre-sequel because a lot of the artwork and stuff like that and the graphic designs that were already built in the virtual world had to be taken from 2K Australia and ported over to 2K because the 2K Australia went under before it got released.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because it just seems like they just you thought they were done. So close to the release of their new game, they do this.
Right.
And they change up everything.
So I feel like either they had this one in the works and they were going to have this because it was free for a month, right?
The DLC,
yeah,
yes,
free for the first month.
If you had
right, if you already had the game, which to me, basically what they're doing is they're getting all the people who used to play Borderlands 2 who haven't already bought it, getting them up to speed because they need to get everybody up to speed because there's a lot of people who played Borderlands 2 who might not have played Borderlands pre-sequel, and there's like 90% of the people who played Borderlands 2 who didn't play any or watch any of the Tales from the Borderlands, which there's some serious content that happens in Tales from the Borderlands. It's canonical that you need to know before you go into Borderlands 3.
Right, and I mean, did you expect this to come out this year?
I didn't expect it.
If I would have told you this, 3 months ago, this was going to happen. Because it caught me so off guard.
I did not expect this at all.
I think it was a rumor leaked on some website, maybe Kotaku or some journalism website, and some people were going around saying, "Hey, new Borderlands 2 DLC," and this is like maybe months after they released the trailer for Borderlands 3 and talked so much about it. And now we're getting a new DLC for a game that's like, what, 8, 9 years old by now?
Right.
It's insane. I'm super glad they did. I'm just wondering how long they were sitting on that content.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing it nonstop since it came out. But
that explains how I
40
hours
at least. But and yeah, I bought it at least 2 times. Once for the Xbox, the hard copy, and then the 360, and then once for the Xbox One virtual. And I think I picked it up when it was a free DLC. It was Game of the Week or Game of the Month on Xbox Live, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is like $130 worth of gaming content."
Yeah, and Steam, I love them for a lot of the crazy deals that they have on sales. Even though it sometimes ends up with me just buying all these games that I didn't play, just because I feel like I'm losing money by not buying them. A few more things I wanted to quickly talk about Borderlands 2 before we wrapped up. So your base is a spaceship, and you'll travel to different planets.
I could definitely see that, because one of the things that I saw from the pre-sequel is at one point you have to go into the think tank. And as soon as I did this, I was like, uh-oh, we are going to be able to go underwater in Borderlands 3. So the way it works is you're in Claptrap's subconscious, and you go into a think tank, and there's Patricia Tannis, and then the scientist who essentially makes the constructors and the loaders and stuff like that from the pre-sequel. I can't remember his name, but he's one of the scientists from the pre-sequel.
Okay.
These are the 2 scientists that are in this think tank, and it's underwater. And you're running around on the planet gravity, so Pandora's gravity and everything. And then you jump into the think tank, and you're now on the moon's gravity, and you have all the same, resistance. You have to have your Oz kit up, everything like that. There's no enemies in there. It's a small room, but I'm like, I think there's going to be underwater areas in Borderlands 3.
That I wouldn't put it past them. They went to space.
Right.
Where else can you go now but underwater?
Well, and especially if you look in Borderlands, the pre-sequel, there was a couple of areas in the Helios space station where you have to run around, and grab items and things like that. I think it's not Deck 13. That's where you go for Claptrap.
Speaking of Claptrap, I want to bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
Claptrap has a new voice actor.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't
because well, here's the thing. There was a bit of a disagreement there between former voice actor David Eddings, basically between him and Randy Pitchford, the CEO, and public allegations of assault against Randy Pitchford by David Eddings.
I didn't know that much.
Yeah. And basically, David Eddings said he was rage fired shortly after this allegation. And I think it was also a pay dispute that he wanted to get paid for his work because his previous performance won the house because he was a Gearbox executive. And he was just doing it to help it out, Like you're part of this company, and he was gonna help this game take off. This is back in Borderlands 1, and he wanted to get paid for his voice acting. This is, Claptrap, whether for the good or bad, is the icon,
like the
mascot of these games. Yeah. The mascot, yeah, that's a better way to put it. And not that he doesn't have to be in it, but a lot of people associate Borderlands with Claptrap and Claptrap Borderlands, and it helps carry it along a lot. I feel. But anyway, that's kind of something I wanted to bring up. Is I wonder if they're going to keep the voice actors for all the characters like Lilith and Brick, Mordecai, and all of them. But I guess the only one that's really changing that's a big one is David Eddings.
Yeah. And I don't, other than what you told me, I heard a little bit about and basically it was like that there was a falling out between the voice actor and the Randy Pitchford. That was about all I had heard. I was like, oh, that's too bad. But yes, I really wish that they would have had the same voice actor for Claptrap and this one, because like you said, it's probably going to be the last Borderlands. And so I really wish they.
You think?
See, I kind of think so.
I mean, if it's uber successful, to be fair, I mean, would you say this is Borderlands 4? Even though it's Borderlands 3?
Yeah, I would probably say so, and I think
because that's like in the same light as like the Fallout games. You have Fallout 1 and 2, and then of course changed the genre with 3, and then they did New Vegas, and they did 76. But they're all kind of completely different games, except for 1 and 2. Borderlands 1 and 2 are completely the same. 3 is the same gameplay, same mechanics, it's the same base game, but it doesn't. It's got completely different kind of take.
Yeah. Borderlands. The reason I think Borderlands 3 is going to be the last one is because they're trying to make it so DLC friendly. And that could be either a good or a bad thing, because your base is a spaceship, and the whole point of it is to go to different worlds.
Now, I was hesitant to agree with you, but I just remembered a game called Grand Theft Auto 5, which, if you're not familiar with it, that game came out. Oh God, GTA 5 release date
probably
came out
2012 as well.
It came out in 2013, and they were really lofty in the promise of single player DLC and stuff. There hasn't been any, but what there's been constant. I mean, constant, 2-3 times a year, maybe more. These huge updates for Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer online updates.
Oh yeah.
And they have made Rockstar. I know has just made an absolute killing with this. People keep you need in-game money for a lot of these things, like for these these apartments or these mansions or these yachts or these awesome cool vehicles, these high-tech vehicles you're buying. And the best way to do this is to buy in-game money with microtransactions.
Right.
And I could see Borderlands going the direction of releasing planets as DLC.
That's what I'm talking about.
Or adventures as DLC, and you just keep adding on all these, not necessarily microtransactions, just DLC payments. And hopefully it's the same style as 1 and 2, where it's you get full stories and
right,
full
not just
new campaigns for this deal, and it's not just like
There's a new planet to explore.
Yeah, I hope it adds a lot.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the reasons I think that it's going to be the last Borderlands game, is because I think they're going to go the route of, rather than creating new games, they're just going to keep updating this game.
Well, it's also got some competition because Outer Worlds, which I'm very excited about, being made by Obsidian, who made one of my favorite games, Fallout New Vegas, is coming together to make a game called Outer Worlds, which I've heard it's been described as basically a combination of Fallout and Borderlands.
Really?
So yeah,
Everybody who's ever told, like, I told them that to get everybody up to speed on my gameplay. I play Borderlands, and I play like 2 or 3 other video games, and that's it. So I don't really play. That's one of the reasons why I played Borderlands for so long, is that it's just always a game that I play.
Right. I'm really excited about it because they're doing the same kind of dialogue options that Fallout had, where you have these really creative responses to these scripted dialogues by NPCs, but it changes based on what you say, and you have these really intuitive lines that are very different from each other. You have like 4 options.
Right.
Even though you have 4 options, they're all vastly different, which Fallout 4 got a lot of flack from because you were just saying yes, but in like different 5 different ways. Like, yes, okay, let's do it. Okay, maybe, and in Fallout New Vegas, be like, yes, no, or I punch you in the face, or I take off my pants and run around. It's just like these are the options you're getting for every single conversation. It's like, this is incredible. I'm having such a great time. I'm getting so invested in these stories and these quests and these NPCs. And then 4 come along, and not that it's a bad game objectively, it's just hard to compare to how into the story and the characters that I got from New Vegas.
Gotcha.
And I hope Borderlands 2 does that. I hope Outer Worlds does that, because that's really what I like for in these games. Well, Ethan, I think we're getting to a wrapping up point. We've been here for about 43 minutes. Right. I hope you guys all enjoyed listening to the Inside Outside podcast, where we're just 2 dudes in the basement talking about games and junk. Again, I am your host, Ron Mr. Fire, joined here by my guest co-host, Ethan Whiskers. Had a great time, and look forward to listening to us again next week. All right. Later.